Yo, Internet, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Recap Corner. This week in Bungou Stray Dogs has been by far one of the most roundabout episodes to actually kind of sum up a lot of stuff in one episode, and I'm actually kind of proud of it. In which that they kind of make Asushi a little bit of a better character here, or at least like at the very least they kind of fuck him over and then kind of redeem him in the same episode. Which is kind of crazy because again, this episode starts off with him getting kidnapped and fucked up like pretty bad. You know, he's basically was captured by the guild and he's held prisoner and shit. And again, it kind of comes off a little fucked up at first. That is until Lucy comes into the frame. And what is Lucy doing? Well, Lucy's basically just sitting around, just basically being like a goddamn chambermaid for their super base. And of course, Asushi kind of tells her like, listen, look, these motherfuckers, they have Q. They tied him up to trees, and they're now using his ability to basically fuck over Japan, like with a mixture of his powers and of course, and John. So of course I have to stop them, of course, and Lucy in this episode she kind of falls for him a little bit, and I'm actually kind of happy to actually see that because again she never really came off as that much of an evil character. It's more or less like, well, now he's a very positive guy and like he's very optimistic, and of course he was sort of, I believe he was like the only guy to that we know of who's actually beaten her ability and actually kind of like messed her over like at this in the same vein. So I can see why she kind of fell for him. And of course we kind of get our own little interesting little air battle between Tom Sawyer and Asushi, where basically he's dodging his bullets and shit like in midair, which is kind of cool. It's even I believe that Asushi even actually kind of talked. He even talked to like his own inner tiger, which that I believe it upgraded his power. So now he can survive like a super fall without actually dying. He can fall, turn into his tiger form, and then turn right back into his human form. It's perfectly fine. You know, it's kind of cool. However, because of all that, he is saved by Dezai, of course, and there's a very interesting like little proposal that Asushi has at the end of this episode, which is we have to join forces with the Port Mafia to take down the guild. And at this point, that seems to be their only option because the Port Mafia has a lot more capable fighters upon their side than what the detective agency has. I mean, again, most of the detective agency members, they either have very defensive abilities or they kind of just come off as like just very passive abilities, which kind of trick senses and everything. You know, whereas the Port Mafia kind of has a few more people who are more well attuned to literally just become juggernauts. So that's kind of what they're more akin to. So they would stand a better chance of going up against the guild instead of just being separate. I mean, again, no matter how good this three-way battle may be, it's still not a Hellsing thing of like, okay, you got the Christian church with their hundreds of thousands. You got the British army, you have the Nazis with their like tens of thousands, and then you have Hellsing with 3. So it's no shit like that, but you understand where I'm coming from. But until then, I'll see you on the next Jongravesshow. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. I'm out. Oh, and spoiler alert, in the Hellsing kind of had the advantage. Come on, if you have an immortal vampire named Alucard, nobody's stopping your ass. But until then, that is what I gotta say about that. I'll see you next. Yo, Internet, how's it going? This is actually my favorite episode of JoJo so far that actually is there. Well, actually, it's not my favorite, but it's one of the top ones. Welcome to Recap Corner. This episode is kind of broken up into two parts, give or take, with how Rohan defeats Cheat Trick and also the whole thing of Kira actually kind of letting his hair down at the wrong fucking time. So it's kind of bad. But then again, I will say this though, is that truth be told, is that the way how Rohan actually kind of comes up and beats Cheat Trick is actually really interesting.